Hi everybody, in this video we will do O2 worksheet string and loops methods, that worksheet, and we are going to do only exercise 3. So this is where to find it, ACM student files, unit 6 string and loops methods in Google Drive. When you open that up and click on this, it ends up looking like this. Then you scroll down and you find the exercises. We are going to do exercise 3. It actually gives you a partial answer. We just need to debug it. So this is exercise 3. We want to debug and rewrite the solution on the right. So it says, write a method back3 that takes a string as a parameter. We will return a string that is built from the original string's second to last character, then descending towards the beginning of the string, grabbing every third character. For example, and so if you look at this, it starts at the second to last letter, which is N, and it tacks it on to the returned value. Then it goes backward 1, 2, 3, and tacks on that letter to the return value. From here, it goes backwards 1, 2, 3, tacks on the U to the return value, goes backwards 1, 2, 3, tacks that letter onto the returned value, and stops. As you can see, this one does pretty much the same thing. We start at the second to last letter, which is the S, so that gets tacked on. The S gets tacked on. Then it goes backwards 1, 2, 3, tacks on that letter, which is the C, goes backwards 1, 2, 3, tacks on that letter, which is the E, and then it goes backward 1, 2, 3. But when it tries to go backwards 3, it's beyond the beginning of the string, so there's no letter to tack on. Before we do this, let's take a look at this method header. First of all, does this method header take in a string as a parameter? I believe it does, because it does say takes a string as the parameter, so that part's okay. And then it returns a string, is that right? Yes, it is, because it returns some phrase in quotes. Now let's take a look at this. I'm going to write some notes in here as we're going along. I is supposed to represent the index of our variable. So, I'm sorry, that was not phrased right. I meant to say I represents the index or position in the string. Stir. So I'll go ahead and highlight that really quick in red, or I'll just highlight it since that seems to work pretty well. So I is the position we are in the string. So let's think about this. What position should we start at? Well, we want to start at the second to last letter. So depending on the length of the string, the second to last letter might be in a different place if the strings are of different lengths. Let's take a look at an example to see what the second to last letter will be. Okay, before we go on, let's look at this example. It's just, we're going to call it some word. So some word is a string. First of all, what's the length of some word? Well, if you count how many letters it is, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length of some word is 8. However, let's count the positions or indexes of the variables. So what do we start at when we do that? We start at the number 0, so it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But because we start at 0, what is the index of the last letter? So the index of the last letter is always going to be length minus 1. See how we did 8 minus 1 is 7, because when we are in the positions, we start counting at 0, but when we do length, we start counting at 1. So what's the index of the second to last letter? Well, that's length minus 2. Because, let me rewrite that really quick. There we go. So the index of the second to last letter is length minus 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. The last letter is length minus 1. The second to last letter is length minus 2. The third to last letter is length minus 3. The fourth to last letter is length minus 4, etc. So, with that in mind, we want to start at the second to last letter. So what should that say? Well, it shouldn't say stir.length. It should say stir.length minus 2. So let's definitely make sure to add that in there. Then we want to go all the way towards the beginning of the string. So what index is the beginning of the string? Well, in this case it's 0. So let's also change that to 0. And what else is wrong here? Well, length minus 2, is that less than or greater than 0? It's greater than. So we want to end up with this being greater than or equal to 0. Let me change it first because we're starting at things that are positions bigger than 0. And we want to go up till and including 0, which is the first character. Let's take a look at this. What do you think we should do first? Do you think we should print out or do something with the letter first, or do you think we should go backwards 3 first? Well, I think we grab the second to last letter first and then go backwards 3. So let's switch the order first of all. So we'll switch the order of these. Alright, that's switched. And this says I equals I plus 3. So, wait a minute, we want to go backwards 3, so what's wrong? I think we should make this minus 3. So definitely make sure that you change that. I will unhighlight this part, but make sure that's minus 3 and that it's down here now. I equals I minus 3. So, in addition to this, I'll say char at x. First of all, char at grabs the character at the position. What position are we? Well, it's not x, it's I. I is that variable that we've been using. So let's go ahead and highlight that. That's supposed to be I. And then, what else? Well, I don't know. Let me fix this really quick. There we go. Okay, so I don't know which string you're talking about. So, character for which string? Well, the string we were talking about was stir. That's the name of the string that was fed into the parameter. In other words, the string that was in the parentheses. So let's change that to stir.char at I. Another thing we have to think about is, are we printing out the character? No, we are not printing out the character. So normally, what some people do is they just say, oh, okay, let's go ahead and just, instead of printing out the character, we want to return the string. So let's return the character. This is actually not correct. It's close, but it's not correct. Why not? Well, because once you hit return, the method ends and you're done. So that's a problem because what will happen is we started the second to last character. It's greater than 0, so we're going to return that second to last character and we're done. And we will not do anything else. So this will not quite work. So what do we do? Well, all we have to do is take this character, add it to this empty string called result. So we could just make a string variable that holds nothing, and as we go through the loop, we're going to constantly add the new character to this string. So instead of doing return, I will say result equals result plus stir.char at I. I don't even need this set of parentheses. I could just do this. So what will happen is it will take the character at that position and add it onto the result. So, and then go backwards 3, and then check to see if it's at the beginning yet. If it's not at the beginning yet, it will take the next character, tack that onto the result, and then go backwards 3. It'll keep doing this over and over again. Once you're done, it will finally return the result, which is all the characters tacked onto that result. So this is the solution. You can write this down, or you can wait for me to scroll to the bottom while you see both solutions. This is with a while loop. There's also one with a for loop. So this is basically what we did. Notice that instead of saying result equals result plus, you could just say result plus equals, and that's totally fine too. In fact, instead of saying I equals I minus 3, you can say I minus equals 3. Let me try to make that a little more. There we go. We can now say I minus equals 3. This for loop pretty much does the exact same thing as the while loop here. Again, we're going to start at length minus 2, go up until the beginning of the string, which is at position 0, and go backwards 3 every time. And as we do that, we're going to tack the character onto the result. So either one of these solutions will work. Well, that's pretty much it for this exercise. Please go to the other videos if you want to learn the answers for the other exercises. Thank you.